Like, this is an absolute nightmare. Cali's freaking destroyed.
Is he like, is this like a bit, is he trying to be like the spinster wine mom? What is he doing right now? I can't believe it. It's all over. And it's like, Timmy didn't make like third chair in choir. What are you talking about right now? You are all so welcome, okay? You're so welcome. Because yesterday, just before the actual recall vote, you know, I did it. I said no to recall, and that's what ended up happening. We can only assume that I am responsible for that victory, and you're welcome, and have fun, and congratulations. Naturally, if you've been following the actual details of the recall vote, this outcome isn't that surprising. Early on, the recall vote was much more of a severe threat, but as time went on, it became more and more clear that, well, no, the no vote is gonna come on out there. And okay, I actually have no idea what the recall vote is, Vaush. Basically, Republicans really wanted to get the current governor out, Gavin Newsom, and have been trying to for some time. And this time they were able to back more of a effective political push for this, spending millions of dollars to get him out. The replacement being Larry Elder. Now, we didn't talk about Larry Elder on this program at any time in the past few weeks, and that's my mistake, okay? Because the dude's a meme lord. He's debated Hassan in the past, and that's, you should go look at that, you know, give ye the chance. But the dude is also totally crazy. He went on there, like, advocating for, like, reparations being paid to slave owners because their slaves got taken away. He's like, he's super crazy. I mean, he's very much in like the modern Trump brand of Republicans, where they've kind of abandoned the stuffy, like, you know, suit and tie neoliberalism and have dived straight head into crazy ass populism. He wants to get rid of the minimum wage. He wants a lot of bad stuff, okay? Larry Elder's craziness is like this massive yawning abyss that we could dive into and spend a lot of time in, but it seems kind of irrelevant now that he's lost. Exactly, just lie super fast and keep lying so nobody can debunk you fast enough. Vaush, I assume that Newsom isn't actually a good governor, but is better than any Republican, am I right? I don't care, because they're Californians. See, Californians deserve bad governors because they're bad people. Except for my family. Except for my family, who are good people. You're a Californian too? Yes, but I left California. Very smart. Very wise. Jerry Brown wasn't that bad. You Zoomers don't remember the Arnold Schwarzenegger days. Those were the real days, okay? That was when California had strong, literally, bold, literally, leadership, okay? Yeah, the Governator. That's right. They called him the Governator. The Governor, the Terminator. Isn't that, like, really embarrassing in retrospect? That kind of is, right? Like, oh my god, he's the movie guy. Oh my god, he did the movie. He did the movie. Was he good, though? No. No. The only thing I actually remember from the Governator's time in office was the, he, like, cheated on his wife with his maid or something? Something like that. That's what I remember. We did Reagan too. Apparently we like movie guys. Yeah, it makes sense. You know, Hollywood's the big, most culturally influential industry here. Anyway. So that's all fine and well. Anyway, the Republicans have not taken well, not even a little bit, to this kind of predictable outcome. Larry Elder preemptively concedes defeat, launches voter fraud site. That is not a joke. Larry Elder conceded defeat before the results were even called, and then immediately claimed it was voter fraud and launched a site for it. Look, this was released at 7:24 a.m. ET. Okay? 7:24. This is, what, 4 a.m. in California time yesterday. It wasn't even close to being called. Yeah, it was launched before people even voted. Nah. Whatever. It's so obvious, dude. The grift. Like, don't even bother showing up to your own fucking election, dude. Just end it all and then blame voter fraud. You know what I mean? Do you think Republicans scream voter fraud into the night when they stub their toe? This is going to be, by the way, the precedent for every single election that Republicans lose. Yeah, fuck, every election Republicans win, too. From here on out. Remember 2016, where Trump won narrowly, and his first thing to say was like, I won in spite of the billions of illegals who voted. And then they even spent taxpayer money on finding out whether or not that claim was true, which it wasn't. He just made it up completely, like whole cloth. They're going to do this for everything, whether they win or lose. Donald Trump has really set the precedent now. Anytime the Republicans don't like, or again, even if they do like the outcome of an election, they're going to run ahead and claim that it's voter fraud. And by the way, social media has been abuzz with coping Republicans. They are huffing that copium right now, okay? Copium prices have skyrocketed due to demand escalating. Supply is plummeting. There are only a few tanks left in the whole of the United States, okay? They each cost $1 million. Larry Elder is running around wrestling for them. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. Anyway, a couple excerpts from this article because it's tremendous, okay? The site, the voter fraud website, which is paid for by the campaign, includes language that assumes Governor Newsom had already won, though no results had yet been released, and Elder is still campaigning. We implore you to join us in this fight if you are able, primarily by signing our petition demanding a special session of the California legislature to investigate and ameliorate the twisted results of this 2021 recall election of Governor Gavin Newsom. Twisted results. This was before the results came out. I mean, the audacity. Additionally, the website states that statistical analyses used to detect fraud in elections held in third world nations, such as Russia, Venezuela, and Iran, have detected fraud in California, resulting in Governor Gavin Newsom being reinstated as governor. Now, again, I really need you to understand this, okay? This was said before the results were tallied. Can you please take a moment to appreciate how utterly fucking insane this is? That before the votes were even cast, he put out a website claiming that fraud had taken place and that statistical analyses found that out. Maybe he had the site set up but got the date wrong and set it live a day early. I have a counter proposal. What if it doesn't matter because, again, Republicans are lunatics? What if that's it? I don't know what, like, people impugn me. Vaush, you paint with such a broad brush. Republicans aren't all crazy. Okay, then why are they throwing their weight behind a person who will claim statistical analyses found out that fraud took place in the election that hasn't even happened yet? What? How? In what but a crazy political party could you even get away with attempting that? Okay? Where? In what universe? This is something that could only happen in Wacky Town, USA. Okay? All right? Population 69. I don't know. This is not something that can happen in a political bloc that has even a tiny bit of sense left in it. Absolutely batshit. Yes, we do live in a simulation, a poorly maintained one at that. Let's go to the content, baby.
And I think about just in the last, few days, and the former president put out saying this election was rigged. Democracy is not a football. You don't throw it around. It's more like a, antique vase.
Thanks.
You could drop it and smash it in a million different pieces. And that's what we're capable of doing if we don't stand up to meet the moment and push back. I said this.
Does anyone remember suffering through Pete Buttigieg back during the primaries? God, that made me want to Roblox myself. The American spirit is the dream woven from the hope of the 6-year-old child born to a single mother who desires one day to be a nurse to heal the sickness at the heart of the disease that is America's anti-democracy. Please clap.
Many, many times on the campaign trail. We may have defeated Trump, but Trumpism is not dead in this country.
That's true.
The big lie, the January 6th insurrection, all the voting suppression efforts that are happening all across this country, what's happening, the assault on fundamental rights, constitutionally protected rights of women and girls. It's a remarkable moment in our nation's history.
Nicely said, thank you. You know, rigged was trending right after the results of the election came out, which is spectacular stuff. By the way, in case anybody is wondering, because this is what Republicans are going off of, in case anybody is wondering why initially the recall vote was polling so well and then it fell off later, this is a very, very, very basic consequence of different rates of advertiser investment, okay? So Republicans in California and in the country really, really, really wanted Gavin Newsom out, right? So when the recall vote went through, they pushed for it really, really hard, which meant that early on, there was a blast of millions of dollars of advertisements, immediately energizing the Republican base in California to go ahead and indicate they wanted a recall vote, right? But the liberals in California were not as slow to awake because this bullshit is not something they're used to dealing with. They were not as energized about it. But as time went on, they became more aware of what was happening, and slowly the polling began to match the actual demographics of California better. California is like 2-to-1 Democrats. The odds of a Republican-backed recall vote actually succeeding in that state are vanishingly low. And you're not going to do it with somebody like Larry Elder. Larry Elder is a goddamn lunatic. You know, they say that California is the reddest blue state, and I mean, Schwarzenegger was a Republican when he got elected, okay? But he was also Arnold Schwarzenegger. And that helped him. Yeah, exactly. He was Arnold Schwarzenegger, okay? So that was entirely different, just like that, you know? I'm browsing through the rigged on Twitter because it's you know, pump it directly into my veins. The mod Alice just found the hidden, it's about to happen, folks. Just like that, 400,000 votes disappear. Let's go.
Million votes, 2.3 million votes as of right now. Now, there's still 48% of the vote to come in, John King. But as of right now, if I were Governor Newsom, I would be feeling
2.25.
would be thinking, number one, you're going to complete your term, and number two, Governor Newsom made this campaign in the end about Larry Elder, but also about the comparison, California versus Florida and Texas on COVID. If your keep Newsom number stays anywhere close to that, other governors going to think that it's a mandate.
They found him out, boys. Deleted the votes. 52% of estimated vote. 49% of estimated vote. Really makes you wonder. Really scrambles my brain eggs, you know?
If your keep Newsom number stays anywhere close to that, other
it's happening.
874. Where did they go?
Where'd they go?
Continue those policies, which will be a national.
Where'd they go?
Into the 2022.
400,000 votes just disappeared.
What happened?
Potomac River, whichever governor's race this year. So careful, don't overread what happens in California.
I love it. It's too good. What happened? They were Thanos snapped away just like that. The crazy thing is, Democrats are so powerful, they didn't actually just delete the votes from the system, they actually metaphysically erased those votes from existence, and the voters along with them. You have no idea what Hillary Clinton can do, okay? From her weather vane god tower somewhere in Antarctica, you know, where occasionally she directs lightning bolts to strike Republicans from afar. You have no idea what kind of power she has at her hands, all right? Yeah, that wasn't them deleting some numbers from their computer, okay? That was them undoing reality. You have no idea what she's capable of. We all know she can kill Epstein. Yeah. People say she met Epstein there in their cell. You think Hillary Clinton has to meet you to kill you? Do you think Hillary Clinton even needs to look into your eye? You don't even need to have been born for Hillary Clinton to fucking kill you, okay? Hillary Clinton controls the time streams, okay? She dips her hands in wax at the sacred altar and dips them into the river of time and meddles as she pleases, okay? Your lives are just tiny ephemeral threads, billions of them coursing along in a thick, viscous river of tar. You are but playthings in her grasp, okay? All she would have to do is splash and end life as you know it, okay? Keep that in mind, Republicans. Vaush, then why did she let Trump win? It's all part of the game. It's all part of the game. Do you have any idea how much power Hillary Clinton would have to give up to be president? By the way, in case anyone's wondering, that's actually the most based line from the Justice League Unlimited. The early 2000s WB animated Justice League cartoon. That was the best goddamn line in the whole thing. The whole plot of, oh, you can sword face me if you want, but it's actually based as shit, okay? It's incredibly based. Yeah. The whole plot of the first season is essentially, and follow through with me here just for a second. Just for a second, okay? The whole plot of the first season is everyone in the world knows there's an alternate universe where the Justice League goes super evil and kills Lex Luthor, who becomes the president, and a bunch of bad stuff happens, and they turn into autocrats, right? Super authoritarians, all right? Now, that doesn't happen in our world, but everyone's kind of wary about it, you know? Like, if you gazed into an alternate universe and found out that in that one your mom ate you when you were a fetus or something, like, it'd be a little weird, right? You'd be like, you know, even if she was totally fine in this one. Anyway, Lex Luthor is, like, reformed. You know, he's not in prison. He's, like, a good billionaire now, and he's running for president. It turns out that the entire plot is him just trying to rile Superman up by playing good boy president so that Superman snaps and he can actually, you know, kill Superman. But anyway, people are investigating him, and at one point he indicates that he's far more powerful as Lex Luthor than he ever could be as a billionaire. I thought that was a super based line. In, like, a kid's show, you know, like, the acknowledgement that an enormously powerful, like, industrialist and capitalist would have to, like, give up on a lot of power in order. I don't know. It was a good line. Watch the show. Watch the show. All right. Any more good copium? Oh yeah. One last thing. Tim Pool. Best part of following him, by the way. Every once in a while, for some reason, Tim Pool says something that is correct. I don't know why he. I don't know why he chooses to do this. But why did the recall fail? Because Republicans didn't come out to vote. That's it. That is true, Tim. When you lose an election, it is because. Yeah, this is a Tim Cool moment, actually. It is because fewer people came out to vote. Significantly fewer people, even. This is a comparison to the presidential votes that took place way back with Governor Newsom's recall vote. And as you can see, far fewer Republicans came out. Far fewer people of both groups came out, mind you. But there were more Democrats than Republicans. So that's how that be. 68% reporting, fair point. If you extrapolate, it was likely to fail anyway. Perhaps too many people fled the state already. Cope. And too many people like being under the boot. True. Very, 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 very good. I like it. Maybe some Republicans voted no. No, just fewer people came out to vote. It's a gubernatorial recall election, not the presidency. I mean, fewer people are going to come out and vote. Anyway, by the way, this whole narrative about, like, people fleeing California, guys, people are fleeing every high-cost coastal state. It's not because of California's repressive laws or whatever. It's just because these cities cost too much to live in. That's why people are flooding, like, further inward. It's not, like, the same thing is happening in other coastal countries. It's not, it might be happening more in California, but California is also proportionally more expensive and also has more ludicrously expensive coastal cities, you know? Is Texas going blue? What about Texas? Texas is starting to go more and more blue with time. And the population of California is still going up. The main issue is just that Seattle, San Diego, and San Francisco, which are the big, like, coastal cities in California, are essentially unlivable. The most livable city of those three is San Diego, and it's like 200 degrees every day there. But Los Angeles, oh God, especially San Francisco, okay? San Francisco. Wait, did I say Seattle? Wait, what were the three cities that I said? San Diego, Los Angeles, San Francisco. Did I say Seattle? Okay, I meant San Francisco instead of Seattle, okay? Seattle is slightly more livable than... I didn't say LA? Oh, I didn't say LA, I see. I literally said I was sick at the beginning of this stream. I don't want to hear any of this shit from you guys, okay? Now, if you guys are annoying about the meth, okay, I'll ban you. I'll do it. I'll get salty about it. I will. I've been good-humored, okay? I'll take you people down. Yeah, my car got broken into the first time. Second time I went to San Francisco. Anyway, San Francisco is a fake city, okay? It's completely unlivable. San Francisco doesn't even exist. Ignore San Francisco, okay? San Diego, somewhat livable, too hot. Los Angeles, gigantic, sprawling, urban concrete jungle, infinite in scope, non-Euclidean geometry. You can walk from one end of Los Angeles to the other end in approximately the length of a human lifetime. Everything is contained within Los Angeles, but there is nothing to do there. But yet there is everything to do there. All live and die in Los Angeles. Come meet your maker, you know. Very fitting for the City of Angels that it would be almost what would you say, biblical in its scope and horror. I do like Seattle, but my perspective is biased now that I make money, you know? Like, I like Seattle because I can afford Seattle. I have a feeling that I wouldn't like Seattle if I couldn't. It's just how it is. Anyway, people are moving further inward, you know? They're moving further in to avoid stuff like this. But Republicans are on this insane bent that, like, people are fleeing California because of the what? The laws? Why do they say it again? Why? Ben Shapiro did this too. Remember, he had his little cowboy hat and he was like, yeah, partner, I'm moving on over to Tennessee or something. Taxes are too high. Yeah, but not for, like, poor people. The homelessness. Yeah, is it just taxes and homelessness? Is that it? There's no evidence of a Californian exodus. Yeah, no, I know. It's just people not living in cities that are too expensive to live in. It's kind of a self-perpetuating meme, you know? Republicans will talk about everyone fleeing, and every once in a while, a Republican will say they've fled, and then it will kind of fuel the whole thing. Dave Rubin did the same thing. Anyway, the Tim Pool comment section here is absolutely brilliant. Let me see. This was interesting to watch, but I'm done with it. It's like Portland. These states/cities want it at this point. Who am I to judge/question? Good luck, Cali. They probably moved out of the failed state. Largest economy in the entire country, by the way. Failed state. I don't know how the fuck people get away with saying stuff like this. Oh yeah, Rogan fled to Texas. That's right. Yeah, Rogan did this. Hey, why is it that all the people saying California is failing are like ultra-wealthy podcast grifters who are like make 20 times as much money as the average person? Or far more than that, you know? Almost like presumptively telling them the election would be rigged acted as a deterrent. True! We got to get more Republicans completely blackpilled on the idea that voting can even work. I feel like because of my, like, timeline trends, they throw all the craziest stuff towards the bottom. Also, I retweeted this, so the comment section might be a little bit infested now. Logan Paul moved to Puerto Rico? Really? Hey, that's kind of based. Wait, hold on. I think that's a bit based. Doesn't that bring a lot of money and attention there, right? I mean, Puerto Rico is basically like a whole goddamn state, except we don't treat it like one. You know? Wouldn't people moving there kind of, like, legitimize it a little bit? I mean, that'd be nice. Congress should treat it better. Is Dave Rubin really live streaming right now?
Today, guys.
Dave Rubin!
Freaking.
Let's go! I love Dave Rubin so much, you know? He feels like such a ubiquitously accessible punching bag. I feel like anyone can make fun of Dave Rubin, and it's totally okay, you know? There's no, like, condition upon which you have to, like, come out and defend the guy. It's just okay to make fun of him, you know?
Nightmare. Like, this is an absolute nightmare. Cali's freaking destroyed. Oh, it's just... But we'll do it. We got a job to do, right? Like, no matter what, we got a job to do, so...
Oh my God.
Don Julio? You know the Don Julio? Yeah, let me just...
is this like a bit? Is he trying to be like the spinster wine mom? What is he doing right now? I can't believe it. It's all over. And it's like Timmy didn't make like third chair in choir. What are you talking about right now?
I cannot believe I have to tell people that there's hope, you know?
It's all over.
It's just going to be a terrible day.
Our Republican didn't win in California.
We're live. Hey, hi. How are...
Ooh, bad sell on that one.
We're live.
What? We're live. We're live. We're live. Hey.
They didn't even react. Didn't even, like, make a facial expression. Ah! Back to acting school with you. Did Dave Rubin ever act? Half of these conservatives used to be actors. Was he ever an actor? Hold on. Political commentator, YouTube personality. No, it seems not. He did stand-up? Ooh, that's right. One of these days, we have to go over his stand-up, you know? That would be good.
Hi. How are ya? It's September 15th.
Wait, I feel like I can try this. Hold on, really quick. I can't believe I've got to watch Dave Rubin. Fucking Dave Rubin, seriously? I can't believe he's still relevant. I'm live. And here we are.
I'm Dave Rubin. This is the Rubin Report Direct Message. It's the day after. It's the day after yesterday, and here we are. There was the big recall election, and hold on just a sec. As long as they know my deep, dark secret, you know?
Dave.
It's like, we got a show to do, you know what I'm saying? Like, everything's going to be
okay. They put water in there. Okay, come on, dude. There is no fucking way you've got the Constitution. No fucking way. They put water in there. Come on, man. If you're gonna do that, then just chug it. What? Seriously? Yeah, he didn't even make a face. He didn't even make a little, like, like, nobody chugs tequila directly from the bottle and doesn't make a little bit of a face. Okay, we're gonna be here forever if we're cringe posting about Dave Rubin. We have to... It's antifreeze? God, I wish.
Okay, Callie. You guys are going to be all right. You're going to be all right.
Let me take a swig from my tequila.
Okay, guys. So we have a bunch to talk about. We're not doing regular stories today. I have no notes in front of me. We did not pick stories. I don't feel like doing any other current events. We've got a little video that we're going to throw to as I'm talking. This is going to be a little different today because obviously today is not a great day if you're a Californian, and it's not a great day if you're an American, and it's not a great day if you're just a decent, freedom-loving person, right? It's just not a great day. So that's number one. So I'm not going to sit here and pretend that like I'm in the greatest mood ever or that I think everything's great. And I'm not going to promise you that things will get better because I can't promise you that.
Holy shit, he's talking the way like liberals would if Roe v. Wade got repealed. What the... Dude, it was a gubernatorial recall vote led by Republicans in California, okay? Like, unironically, even if you cared about this, you had to know this is a long shot. You're overselling this so hard.
Like, I just can't. However, I first want to say something just about my experience in this whole recall election.
Yeah, he tried so hard, but unfortunately, Gavin Newsom's policy proposal to execute all Republicans in the state of California is going to go through now. He tried valiantly to save those tens of millions of lives, but tragically, no. Gavin Newsom's blood rain and skull throne stacked high in Sacramento will now become a reality.
And what's happened to this country and this state in the last year and a half and everything else. You know, I woke up this morning and although I sort of like, at first I was just like, what am I going to do on the show?
Was there another 9/11?
I got to tell you that in the, 4 or 5 hours, I got up at about 7 a.m., the 4 or 5 hours that I've been awake, I'm actually feeling quite proud today. Like, I really do feel that in the last year and a half, I have fought for what I believe in at the highest possible level. I have done everything that I could possibly do to make this recall happen, to get rid of a guy that I think is a really terrible governor who is destroying this state. And I don't have to repeat all the reasons why I think he is. You guys all know that.
I know.
But more importantly than that, when Larry Elder got involved in this thing, and there were rumblings, there were rumblings that maybe Dennis Prager was going to get involved. There were rumblings that Adam Carolla was going to get involved. There were rumblings that Rick Grinnell was going to get involved. I strongly considered it.
It's a gubernatorial election, not a fucking YouTube crossover video. What? Carolla and Prager? Oh yeah, dude, that would have convinced the tens of millions of Californians to vote in your favor. What were they gonna do? CancelCon 2? Were they gonna rent out the Comic-Con venue, the fucking San Diego Convention Hall, and just like hold a gigantic like SJW's own conference or something? Was Dennis Prager going to stand on top of like a stage to an audience of like 17 people and with chairs thousands stacked out in front of him and like recite stand-up? What is it? What were they gonna do? Yeah, this is like calling on podcasters to save Afghanistan. Remember that from Marianne Williamson where she was like, guys, we're gonna need all hands on deck. Please, Chapo, Jimmy Dore, the other guys, get in there. So what? Yeah, but that was a base joke. I don't know. Marianne Williamson has never said a joke in her life, okay? Marianne Williamson takes everything she says seriously. And by the way, I was way too hard on her back during the primaries, okay? I thought that her hippie woo shit was annoying, but now I realize that it's actually based as fuck, and I love her, okay?
For a couple weeks, I really did, and we talked to some people, and I just felt that I would be
Vaush, I told you I was right about her and Yang. No, Yang fell off. Vermin, you were so wrong about Yang. Yang fucked everything up after the primaries. Yang sucks now. He's even going to run third party. Keep up, Vermin.
Useful outside of the system than the guy that was doing it. I could help with messaging and amplification and all that kind of stuff. But when Larry got involved, I felt that this was basically as good as it gets. Like, this is not just a good and decent man, and as you know, I don't care about the color of his skin, but for the people that do, I thought it could help flip the script a little bit.
Why would you say that? What? Why would you say? Oh my God.
And expose the nonsense of the left. And although Larry did lose and the recall lost, I think we've really exposed further just the absolute fraudulent, dishonest nature of the media and the Democratic establishment and our political leaders and everything else.
Sure.
But I felt I would give this thing everything I've got. And I toured with Larry, and obviously I've been promoting the hell out of him on Twitter and on the show and every other which way, and I introduced him to some money people and people that I thought could help. I gave this everything I got. And when I say I also want to give a shout out to the two guys that are in this room, Michael and Connor, who have helped me along the way do all this stuff, and my assistant Helen and Todd.
You know that thing I did at the beginning of the stream where I said you're welcome for promoting no on the recall vote? I saved Gavin Newsom. He's doing what I did, but unironically right now, you know? I respect that.
And everybody that's part of this team, and David, everyone that's part of my team here, like, we all were like, there's something to fight for, let's fight for it together, and we all did everything that we could possibly do. So again, I'm not sitting here like, oh, this is the greatest day and there's so many, like, look on the horizon, like things will get better. I'm not really sure how I feel about that here in California right now. Actually, I think things are going to get a lot worse. I think they have
I think that skull throne is going to be stacked high, my friends.
The forces that I've been fighting against, that I believe to be the wrong ideas, like, they're strengthened in California right now. And California is obviously
the Santa Monica beach will be stained red with the blood of Republicans.
In the world and everything else, like the bad ideas of critical race theory and social justice and mismanagement of everything and high taxes and high regulation, all that stuff, like, it all just got strengthened. That's just the truth. Like, it got emboldened. And Lord only.
I'm sorry to say, people, but Gavin Newsom's Legion of Terror, his horseborn reign of specters with scythes who will ride through the street and harvest the souls of every Republican firstborn, their ranks only grew today. As we mourn our loss, even now, Gavin Newsom plucks souls from the river of death to add to his armies. What? It's so dramatic. God damn it. It's so funny.
Only knows what all of that garbage stuff does when it's emboldened. Probably some bad stuff. But what sits next to that for me is that I feel like I personally did what I felt was right, and there's value in that. So it's not, you don't win all the time. You don't, and especially in politics, you don't win. And you know, I say to you guys all the time that one of the biggest problems that we have in America right now is that people have traded religion or belief, just any sort of traditional set of beliefs, for politics, right? And I think there's a particularly pernicious version of this with people on the left, because they have so accepted the purely secular worldview that they feel like.
Remember when this guy was an atheist until he saw the light? Also, follow-up question. Has anyone ever seen him at a church that wasn't like a photo op with another conservative Christian? Just quick question, by the way. I mean, I'm using my powers of journalism and exposure. Does he have like a church group? Can anyone like testify? Is just anywhere? Is he allowed in the church? Maybe because Dave Rubin is such like a dog about like his being gay, like he doesn't give a fuck if people shit talk him for it. Maybe he just like shows up at the church and stays in the parking lot in the car, you know? Like he's like, you know, the Lord's house will not take me. I have sinned. And he just sits there in the car and just waits for an hour. You know, he tries to like hear like the sermon being given through the big stained glass window or whatever, and then he dips. That'd be good. I like that bit, you know?
Like, because they don't believe in something else. They believe that they have the duty or the responsibility.
He's Jewish? Wait, he's Jewish? I thought he was Christian. Wait, hold on. Didn't he say he was Christian? Converting to Judaism is like a whole goddamn thing, isn't it? Isn't it like you have to ask 3 times because before that the rabbis say no? He once described himself as an atheist, but said he was no longer an atheist. Well, wait, to what? I mean, none of my funny joke falls apart. Whether he's Jewish or Christian. His family is Jewish? I mean, we're talking about religion, not his, like, cultural background. Yeah, he said he changed his perspective on this after meeting with Jordan Peterson. Open to conversation, small measure. Christians can be encouraged by Rubin's turning to the Bible. While he isn't yet a Christian, it's refreshing to hear a secular influencer value the contributions the Bible has made to Western society. Oh, this is pretty sussy. Yeah, I think it's just kind of like some non-denominational Christianity.
For more debates...
We kept kosher, we did Shabbat on Friday nights, related to Judaism that I think is for, let's say. You know, talking about his biblical lectures and talking about his perspective on life, and that there has to be a bedrock of something that is real and true outside of us. Okay,
I think I get it now. Dave Rubin is not actually religious. What Dave Rubin is a grifter. Is this a surprise to anyone? I was reading the website and some of the quotes from him, and apparently he's saying he doesn't actually care about religiousness as a personal belief, but instead cares about it as like a broader societal value. I.e., he doesn't personally act like a Christian or whatever the fuck else. However, he thinks that Christianity is an important cultural foundation to Western society, which is funny because that's actually one of the least Christian things in the universe. Can you imagine that? Imagine reading the 10 Commandments and then saying, well, I don't actually believe in God, and I won't follow any of the rules, and I won't pray, but I think that believing in this is culturally valuable anyway. It seems kind of like a cake and eating it situation, right? It's actually really similar to the thing that groypers do, you know? The trad-caths who have never been in the inside of a church in their entire fucking life, you know? All those, like, 16-year-olds who post, like, Crusader memes and are all like, yeah, Jesus saves, dude. And they've never prayed in their lives. It's all about the cultural and aesthetic affect of Catholicism. I'm guessing it's the same for Rubin, just not being a groyper, you know? It's a whole different thing. It's the whole, like, Dennis Prager, you know, Western society is built on Judeo-Christian values thing. Which, by the way, the term Judeo-Christian values is the greatest cope in the universe. What we broadly call Western civilization is thousands of years old. Tell me, were Christians and Jews getting along during, like, any period in that history? What do you mean Judeo-Christian value? Like, at what point exactly during, like, Western history were Jews and Christians coming together to collaboratively form the foundations of modern Western society? Yeah, where does that even come from? Jesus, you know? For thousands of years, Christians got off on distinguishing themselves from Jews in every imaginable way. They would say wild stuff about Jews. Yeah, Catholics didn't stop blaming Jews for killing Jesus until the Vatican II. And what was that, in like the 40s? When did that happen? Wasn't the Vatican II in like the 40s or 50s or something? Like the 50s, the 60s? The Catholics blamed the Jews for the murder of Christ until the 60s? Christ was a Jew. The Romans weren't Jews. What? Because Judas was a Jew? That's it? Yeah, they still do, basically. Yeah, and trad cats reject the Vatican II because of the whole lack of anti-Semitism thing, yeah. Oh my god. I don't get that. I do not get that. The Romans weren't Jews. Jesus was a Jew, so Judas was a Jew? That's it? Wouldn't anyone who betrayed Jesus have been a Jew because Jesus mostly hung out with Jews? I mean, what how does that work, you know? Like, what? All right. I don't know. All right, we're Vaush, you have the history confused. Wait, what do I have wrong there? Was Jesus not a Jew? Was Judas not a Jew? Were the Romans not Jews? I think I have that right. They're referring to the Pharisees, the crowd that called for Barabbas and Judas. Isn't that just kind of what happens when you live mostly with like Jewish people? Like, isn't that kind of weird, you know? Like, you might as well blame all, like, Middle Eastern people, because Jesus was also that. I guess they probably do. I don't know. Never mind. Just move on.
Or the divine right, even though they usually don't believe in the divine, to organize the world as they see fit. And in many ways, that's really what this election was about. Like, a guy like Gavin Newsom who thinks he should wield power over people.
True.
And if you just gave him enough money and power, he could figure out how more people could live or should live.
Well, he is the governor.
Versus the ideas that Larry Elder
that is his job.
Was bringing to the table, the things that I talk about, which are that the government's really not that good at a lot of stuff. And It shouldn't take from a lot of people. It shouldn't do that much. There's some basic stuff that it should do, and that's it. But those ideas didn't work this time around. And yes, maybe there was some fraud, and we all know that if you, I mean, Blake Masters, who's running for Senate in Arizona, who I think is a really good guy, who I'm going to have on the show in a couple weeks, he tweeted out an image where if you just take a basic iPhone flashlight to a ballot, you could automatically see the yes and the vote for Larry. We checked it. No matter which way you folded the envelope, even though I voted in person, we tested it on our mail-in ballot. No matter which way you folded it, either you could see the yes or you could see Larry. I'm not saying there was fraud. I'm actually not, even though I think the system here is deeply corrupt. Like I'm not saying there's fraud, and I have no evidence.
He's not saying there's fraud because YouTube has deleted channels for saying there's fraud before.
There was fraud, but I know that the system here is just broken. It is a one-party system, and Lord only knows what these people would do. But I'm not going down that rabbit hole. But what I'm saying is that if a certain amount of people don't have faith in the system, and that's what I'm hearing from a lot of people. You know, I went to
According to the gospel, the Pharisees, the Jewish religious leaders, pushed the Romans to execute Jesus in order to keep the peace, so that's why the Christians blame the Jews for the death. Like, wasn't it Roman oppression that decided the entire, like, socio-political context of that situation? Like, the whole reason anything like that happened, like, the whole reason that entire situation was the way it was because of the Romans, the dominant, like, power at the time, you know? So, like, why, like, I don't know. Now, personally, I'm not a Catholic. I just feel like, no, please read up on the religious history. All right, here's the new rule. Anyone who just says, no, please read up on religious history or anything like it just gets banned instantly because you could have just said what you think I'm wrong on. I can't educate myself on literally every fucking thing. Guys, I don't actually give a fuck why Catholics blame Jews, okay? Are you seriously trying to justify the idea that you can blame an entire ethnic group because 2,000 years ago a historical figure maybe or maybe didn't die because of some other historical figures who were also of the same ethnic group? Are you, like, legitimizing this by saying that you need to be educated on the history in order to rebuke the idea? I'm just casually discussing this, all right? If you have a fucking problem with that, you can explain what you think is incorrect, but holy shit, the pretension from fucking Bible study dipshits who have nothing in their life going for them except for the shit they were force-fed when they were 12 years old and are desperate to prove to me that that information is somehow useful, okay? Chill, all right? Go find another life skill. Nobody fucking cares. Religion is dumb, okay? Rick and Morty, burp.
Election night party last night at Pineapple Hill Grill and Saloon. You may remember Pineapple Hill. There was the incredible viral video from the height of the lockdowns where the woman who owns it, Angela, who's a great lady, she was there last night, obviously. She had taken some video where she built this outdoor area for people to come and sit so that she could keep her restaurant open at the height of the lockdowns. And they locked her down, but then they had a huge outdoor eating area for a Hollywood shoot, literally steps away, right next door. That video got seen millions.
Also, how the fuck much do we even know about the history of Jesus Christ when shit's been rewritten like 20 fucking times by Christians after the fact? Right? Like, haven't there been like 87,000 fucking revisions to everything we know about this stuff done mostly by Christians throughout antiquity? Like, how the fuck do we know? Like, boy, I wonder how Christians might have written this story. You know?
Millions and millions and millions of times. So we thought that that would be the place to do our little election situation last night. And, you know, about 100 people showed up, maybe more actually. And these were all good people. I didn't meet any racists or right-wing maniacs.
The Carolyn Borisenko argument.
Bad people, you know, like, and by the way, I'm not even sure how many Republicans I met. Most of the people were sort of mugged liberals, as I talk about, or independents, or just apolitical people. And some of them were, I would say, more conservative, but you're not going to believe this, guys. There were gay people there, and there were black people there, and there were Asian people.
Dude, Republicans are so fucking brave. Guys, the liberals don't want you to know this. You're never going to believe it. There were gays there. Blacks, even ethnics of other kind. Yeah. They don't want you to know this.
People and Latino people, they were all there. And they were all there not because we all agree on politics. I mean, that's the interesting thing. Nobody really talked about politics there last night. Like, everyone kind of talked about, oh, we just kind of want to be left alone. We don't like this slow descent to hell that this state is on. And we support Larry. And actually, I was able to get Larry to call in, and I went up to the microphone, and we took the phone call, and Larry said hi to everybody, and it was great. And And I guess I say all of this to say, I don't regret anything here right now. Like, I don't think politics is everything. Like, I don't think, and that's why they're so hysterical and we're usually not. So that's not to say I'm not dejected today. I'm not thrilled with the day. I have to really think about a lot of things in my life and, you know, talk to my team about the future and what we want to do about Cali and all of that stuff. Like, that's all legit, right? But like, I fought for something, and fighting for something is a worthwhile cause. Believing in something is a worthwhile cause. Doing something, going against the grain, standing up against the machine.
Has any actual information standing up against the machine? Holy shit! Has any actual like information been provided thus far by Dave Rubin? Or oh, this is a good frame to pause on. Because so far all I've heard is there was probably fraud, but there definitely wasn't any fraud. You know, we tried so hard, but in the end, it didn't even matter. That's what I'm getting right now.
I see these all as good things, and these are things that I did. So I feel, and again, not just me, the people around me, that we all did. So I feel a great sense of pride right now, and I hope you feel that too. And even last night, you know, it was interesting because 8 o'clock is when the polls closed, but basically at 8:01 they announced it was pretty much like it's over already because of all the mail-in ballots that they had already come in. So they were pulling it, they were, you know, showing you polls that it was like 70-30 basically at, you know, no on the recall basically at 8:05, something like that. And, you know, everyone in that room, it was like we all knew it was a long shot. Everyone in that room. So when we got there at like 5 o'clock and everyone's having drinks, and eating wings and burgers and stuff, it's like we were all having a great time. But of course it was sitting in the back of our head. I knew it this whole time. Like, there's more Democrats than Republicans. It's a Democrat-run state. All of that stuff. Like, you know, as I always say, I'm a dreamer, but I'm not just like a blind dreamer. Like, we knew this was going to be tough.
Holy shit! Is Dave and Rubin genuinely just stupid? Oh no, Dave Rubin is legitimately very unintelligent. You can see it even back when he was like left in TYT. He is just not a smart guy. He's very dumb. You really have to wonder about TYT and what kind of people they're breeding over there, you know? Like, you've got Dave Rubin, you've got Jimmy Dore, you've got Michael Tracy. Like, what is it about TYT? They have like no ability. Yeah, Hassan. They have like no ability whatsoever to like pre-check for intelligence. I don't like, not just intelligence, mind you, but just, can they not tell? I mean, Vice got Tim Pool as well.
And you know, by 8:05 when it ended, or in essence it ended, nobody was crying in that room. People kept talking, kept having a good time. We all kind of were nodding at each other like, you know, this sucks and we got to think about our lives and what we want to do and do we want to be here and all of those things. But I was very proud to be in that room with those people. And I think that's the feeling, that if you watch this show and you care about the ideas that I talk about and you love a guy like Larry Elder and you believe in the types of things that he talks about, like, that's what we should take with us. What you do in your life, especially if you live in California, that's up to you. But
okay, I'm sorry. I've been reading because I hate you guys. And fuck you guys, okay? I was right. The Jewish leaders who led the persecution of Jesus Christ and called for the Romans would have stoned him to death anyway. They called for a crucifixion, and they were appointed by Roman authorities. Many of the Jewish leaders who were responsible for the treatment of Jesus Christ did so because they were incentivized by the Roman authority to prioritize political stability in their region. It was the state that killed Jesus Christ. The Jews in the region were just appointed by Rome. This is exactly how colonialism works. If you go back to other colonized civilizations, you know, plenty of places in Africa or Latin America, you'll find that a ton of persecution that took place was done by members of the indigenous ethnic group. Not because they were evil, but because they were under the direct control of the colonialist lords. Because they were put there by the people who were colonizing that region. Now, I don't think this is like a direct, like, colonizer, like, situation right here. I'm only saying that, the broader, like, socio-political reason this took place was because of, like, Roman occupation and power. And Romans were white. Not really. But let's just say they were. Ergo, white pagans killed Jesus. AKA the Norse. AKA, using modern Norse runes, killed Jesus. So when Nazis use the black sun, they're talking about how they would have killed Jesus. Okay? Yet another Nazi hypocrisy unfolding. It's all coming together.
like, do you
Yeah, Nazis killed Jesus even 2,000 years ago. Who could have thought?
stay and fight? I don't see much hope in staying and fighting here. I think it's going to get much worse. There's just no reason to think it won't.
Italians killed Jesus. Sink that peninsula into the sea.
And you all know that at the height of the lockdowns, when everything was locked down, I had an illegal dinner party. I'm sure they'll come for me one day. I had right-wing maniac Michael Knowles from the Daily Wire and his wife over. We all lived in Cali at the time. We all lived in L.A. They came over.
What is Dave even saying? That's a great question.
For dinner at the and he beat me with facts, but did it with grace and decency. God. And when the show ended, I know many of you know the story, but we shook hands. We said we'll do the show again. I think he realized that he was sitting across from somebody that was willing to learn and willing to listen. And you know, it was my best and worst career moment at the exact same time. At the exact same time, because I went into what turned into a debate and I wasn't ready. I thought, well, if you just say systemic racism exists, it does, because that's what the left does with everything. There should be $15 minimum wage because we think there should be. We should do this. America is evil because of this. 1619 Project's true because we say it's true. This is what the left does with absolutely everything. And Larry had facts. Well, this is what police shootings are. This is what affirmative action has done. This is what the ever-expanding state has done to black and brown communities, et cetera, et cetera. It's not that the whole interview was just about that stuff. But I went back into that control room, and there were a bunch of producers there. This is when we were on Aura TV. We had a bigger staff at the time, and you know that interview did not.
I can't take Dave Rubin anymore. Holy shit! Without somebody else near Dave Rubin to kind of control the conversation, he really just runs on an empty record. Okay, like listening to Dave Rubin talk is like dropping the needle on a record player with no disc in or whatever, with no record on, and just letting it scrape against the table. It's not good. Larry Elder is an absolute lunatic. Elder's views are conservative and right-wing. Thank you. He's voted for Republican forever. Very nice. Ardent supporter of Donald Trump, praising him on Twitter often. He claimed that Donald Trump's election in 2016 was a miracle. He is almost God-sent. Elder said he did not believe Biden won the 2020 election fairly. He said it's unfair to blame Trump for the January 6th Capitol attack. Oh, but he opposed the tariffs imposed by Trump. That's nice. The tariffs were pretty dumb, I think. In his 2000 book, Elder laid out a 10-point plan to save America. He called for abolishing the IRS, okay, creating a national sales tax, reducing government by 80%. What? How can people who say stuff like this possibly be taken seriously? Reduce government by 80%? What the literal fuck does that mean, Larry Elder? Ending welfare and entitlements, abolishing the minimum wage, and eliminating corporate taxes. That's how we'd save America. He opposes minimum wage laws, arguing the ideal minimum wage is $0.00. I think that's pussy shit. Larry Elder. Why not set the ideal minimum wage below $0.00? Make it negative $15. Make it so companies can force you to pay them for every hour you work there, okay? That's the free market. What the fuck are you doing? You seriously think that big government stepping in to force companies to not take money from their workers is going to improve America? What are you talking about, man? Yeah, hell yeah, brother. There we go. I was out of line in the cam. My fucking forehead kept getting cut off. On a CNN Crossfire segment in 2013, along with New Jersey Governor Chris Christie, Elder criticized Christie for accepting the architecture of the welfare state, claimed the government took almost 50% of American people's money through mandates. A claim he supported by referring to an analysis by the conservative advocacy group Americans for Tax Reform. PolitiFact rated his claim mostly false. Yeah, wait, 50%? That's higher than the highest tax bracket. Elder has been critical of public sector labor unions, especially the California's Teacher Association. No doubt, no doubt. Charter schools, private schools. In August 2021, Elder came under criticism for his long history of disparaging statements about women. Yes! Here we are. Okay? Vaush, want to do something fun? What is your face your hater, Jason, here? What does that mean? Elder has contended that women know less than men about political issues, economics, and current events, mocked women who took part in the 2017 Women's March as obese. Jesus, that's direct. Mocked premenstrual syndrome by saying PMS stands for punish my spouse. What? Endorsed pregnancy discrimination by employers. Reposted an article on his website that likened single mothers on welfare to stray cats. and claimed that statistics about domestic violence against women are exaggerated to promote feminism. That's my guy right here. Larry Elder, literally a 2016 YouTuber. True. Elder has asserted the Democrats achieve more success among women voters because they have, quote, emotionally driven but often unsound policies, end quote. I bet this guy would be against suffrage. Do you think? I bet this guy would be against suffrage. I have a feel. You know, like in his quiet moments. Elder has often denied the gender wage gap exists. Elder contends employers should be allowed to discriminate in employment against women who plan to have children. And in his 2002 book, he wrote women who choose to have children are not dedicated to their jobs and suggested they lacked a commitment to work. Elder reiterated these views in 2021, We Stand a Consistent King, while he ran for governor, and fellow Republican candidate Kevin Falconer criticized Elder's views. He opposes abortion, says Roe v. Wade should be overturned, said it's one of the worst decisions the Supreme Court ever handed down. Anti-LGBT remarks on Twitter, repeatedly used male pronouns when referring to trans women, such as Ines Rao and Caitlyn Jenner. It is known. In 2021, Elder accused California of having a soft-on-crime ethos. He opposes a California law that banned police from using certain chokeholds. Gotta make sure they can use those chokeholds. Elder opposes Prop 47, which reclassified as misdemeanors many low-level drug and property crimes that had formerly been felonies. Interesting. My dude's a libertarian, but he's in favor of allowing police brutality and making sure that drug use is highly criminalized. That's very interesting. How do you have all the wrong opinions? Yeah, curious. Science, environment, and COVID-19. Guys, what do we think his positions are on this? In his 2000 book, he suggested the health hazards of secondhand tobacco smoke had been exaggerated, rejecting the scientific consensus that secondhand smoke is a serious threat that caused 2.5 million deaths in the half-century before 2014. Dude, I love this guy. Absolutely. Car deaths? Traffic accidents? Nah. Vaush, this guy cannot be real. This is just your average Republican. Sorry, guys. This is who they were voting for. This was the front runner in the recall vote. This is what Republicans want, okay? Never allow yourself to be deceived by the mental image of your you know, old-timer grandma who just, you know, has some quaint views about people of color. No, 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 no. This is who they are. They'll support anybody like this because they're preferable to the Democrats. He once described climate change as a myth, a crock, disparaged John McCain and George W. Bush, who acknowledged climate change, said global warming is not a big peril to planet Earth. In 2021, he acknowledged the climate is warming, but refused to accept the anthropogenic cause, claiming that it is alarmism. Wanted to remove statewide public health mandates for government workers in California, such as COVID-19 vaccine requirements, mask requirements, or COVID testing. Elder encouraged people in high-risk categories, people who are older, to be vaccinated, but said that young people do not need to be vaccinated. Okay, nice, nice. Elder did not challenge a call-in listener to his radio show who espoused COVID-19 misinformation, suggesting that COVID-19 vaccines were dangerous and part of a Bill Gates orchestrated plot. Very good. Oh, here we go. Allegations of abuse and sexual harassment. His former fiancée, Alexandra Tikig, accused him of abuse. Crazy. A longtime former radio producer for Elder was engaged to him between 2013 and 2015. Tikig said that Elder had demanded the show devotion. She show devotion by having Larry's Girl tattooed on herself. Okay. And during an argument, brandished a gun in a threatening manner. Okay. After Tikig's allegation became public, the Sacramento Bee editorial board and fellow candidates Kevin Falconer and Caitlyn Jenner called for Elder to withdraw from the race. He denied those accusations. In 2011 episodes of his radio program, Elder said he had twice been accused of sexual harassment, denying both allegations. In one case, Elder defended himself by implying the woman was too unattractive for him to sexually harass, saying, if you had seen her, you would know that the picture would be a complete defense. I'm just saying. We got it. Morally upstanding conservative values right there, folks. Right there. And this is what Republicans want, by the way. This is what Republicans want. This is what they want. I'm sorry. People say, ooh, Vaush, you're too harsh when you criticize Republicans. You paint them all in a bad brush. Nah. As long as these are the candidates they support, I think I can say, you know, whatever the fuck I want about Republicans. I think that's fair. Isn't that fair, guys? I think as long as this is who they put forward, you can say anything about them. You can criticize them however you want. This is the people they support. I don't know how else you could possibly arrive at that conclusion. Really spectacular stuff. Based in correct pill? Yeah. If you're mean, they will have to vote far right. True. I'm forcing them into it, you know, something else. Never forget, people. This is the kind of people they support. We don't need to watch any more Dave Rubin. Get this out of here. Cut the segment. Go. Kill the segment. Go. Shh.